TxStampin Sharon. Today I'm going to show you 3 cards with the same layout. They all look different and they're easy. I can't wait to share these with you. If you're new to my channel, I want to welcome you. I invite you to subscribe below the video and then hit that little bell. You'll be notified every time I upload a video or I go live on YouTube. Let's get started with these fun cards. I realize that I have not shared any cards made with many messages with y'all. I love this stamp set because it has many messages and it also has the coordinating dies to cut them all out. And when I first got them, they line up perfectly. When I first got them, I was like, oh, what in the world am I going to do with the ones I don't use? I have a tip for you guys, so hang with me. This comes as one large stamp. When you open up the case, it's just one stamp. So I was like, oh, that's so big to stamp with. So of course I pulled out my Stamparatus. The other things that I'm using is Gorgeous Grape, Classic Ink, the Pastel Pearls. They've not been in stock lately, but they are right now as the time of the shooting of this video. And then I wanted to use my Banner Triple Punch. And the cardstock I chose, pretty pink, haven't used that, nice springy color. It is 5.5 by 8.5 and I've scored it at 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic white for the inside and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm gonna show you how I cut my designer series papers. Oh, you wanna see the card? Let's show you the card. Isn't that fun? The papers are so pretty. I wanted small sentiments. I didn't want to cover them up. This piece especially intrigued me when I went to go cut. I love how it turned out. And there's my little pearls. Such a sweet card. And I do have some more to show you, but I want to show you how to cut the designer series paper first. So this is the piece I was talking about. All this space. I'm like, what do I do with this? Do you ever look at a piece of paper and go, what do I do with it? Okay, well, this was one of them. I set that aside. So I opted to try to get as much of the pattern as I could. Let's make sure we're in here. So I'm going to cut at the 3-inch mark. And see that pretty pink hydrangea? I love hydrangeas. I had a beautiful hydrangea bush in Arizona and I had to leave it behind when I moved. Then I'm going to cut this at 4 inches. So I knew I needed a small sentiment, remember? Okay, so we want to create a mat for this and we don't want a big mat because I don't want to hide any of the designer series papers, but it does need something for a contrast. So I'm going to cut this at 3 1/8. That is the second longest little line, just past the 3. And then I'm going to cut it at 4 1/8. Again, long line past the 4. And that will create my mat for my designer series paper. So you know how you guys hang on to strips. I do it too, all the time. So on this one, this piece actually happens to measure 1.5 inches, and I'm going to slide it over to 5. And I don't know, I may try something different with you guys on this video because let me pull out my card. On my card, I use that side, but what would happen? Well, let's do it this way. What does that look like? Huh, I kind of like that. Let's see what it looks like. It's all about the fun. It's all about being creative as you go. So for this piece, I still need a mat. It was 1.5 inches. So I'm going to go to the 1.5 and then I'm going to go to the second mark past it, which makes it 1 5/8. And we're going to go to 5 1/8. These are easy cards. You could use any designer series papers that you have. Again with our wiggle room. Now, before I add these two together, I want to do something first. I want to take my triple banner punch, triple banner punch, and I want to punch the bottom. Let's see which way. Yep, this way. I want to punch the bottom, and I have my punch turned upside down because I only want to go from corner to corner of the designer series paper. I don't want to go all the way in because that'll make my strip too short. So I'm going to back it out. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the gorgeous scrape, lining up those corners. If you feel more comfortable, go ahead and cut your strips longer and take it all the way to the end. But I'm fine with doing it like this. We're going to bring in our silicone mat. You know, it's funny, I loved the card the first time, but I think I'm going to love it better even more this time. Okay, so we're going to line this up, very small little border. And again, this is where it helps to pick it up and do some wiggle room. Okay, let's put this card together. I'm going to place this over here. And for this piece, I want dimensionals. I want a lot of dimensionals to really support this layer when I go to pop it in the mail. And then we're going to place it right here, giving me about the same amount of room on either side. Okay, now what about our sentiments? Oh wait, let's go ahead and do this. Since we have our basic white for the inside, we're going to add this right here. Okay, all right, let's do some stamping. So remember, I told you it was a really large stamp. I'm going to just center it right here. And I'm going to pick it up with the plate. I'm going to take my gorgeous scrape. Oh, don't let me forget to show y'all the tip of what to do with those extra ones. I thought it was great. I don't know. I hope you do too. I love my Stamparettas, especially for big stamps like this, because, you know, it's hard to get it all inked up, and you certainly don't want to ruin the whole thing. You're like, man, I didn't get that one word done. See, look at that. There we go. That looks awesome. Now, one trick that I want to tell you is look at these words here. Let's turn it this way. Make sure that you can read everything, okay? So that's looking good. Then turn it and then scooch this side up so that you can see all the words. Oh, see, my star is off. See, oh, my stars, it's off. But I've got my heart lined up, my stars lined up. That is the best way I can tell you to use this die. Just make sure that you can see those stars and hearts. And when you can, everything else is going to line up perfectly. I'll be right back. So as you can see, I cut everything out. It is really hard in my space to always bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, but you do need a die cutting machine, and Stampin' Up sells a great one. It is very small and compact, but it's just harder for me to use. So now everything, oh, see if I can pick it all up. See how it just cuts everything out? And some of them have some stitching, some of them have scallops. This has little stitching like a ticket. Just super cute. Okay, so we're gonna pop these out really quick. Okay, so here's our stamp case. Look at what I did. On the inside, Stampin' Up sells these clear little envelopes, which these are great when you're mailing a card with embellishments on it. I always slip the card inside of this, and that way when it runs through the rollers at the post office, it doesn't catch on those embellishments. But look how cool. It's self-adhesive. So which one do I want? I want the hooray. Where's my hooray? Hooray. There it is. So we want that one. All these other ones are just going to go right inside of here, and I'll keep them. And I don't know if you can see, but I have some with the black ink. So I expect me to have an assortment of colors in here, which is perfect. I mean, you have all these pieces ready to pop on a card whenever you're ready, whenever you need a card. So you could design one like mine, and then when the occasion strikes, you could, that little thing does not want to pick up. You can grab a sentiment out of here and then be able to get your card in the mail. Love it. There's a lot of words, isn't it? Whoops. Okay, so I'm gonna close that back up. I'm not gonna seal it because I know I'm gonna be getting in and out of it. And then your case just kind of comes open like that, and you can slide this right in and have it for when you're ready. Slide that back over. There we go. Nice and tidy. There you go. Okay, let's bring this back in. I do. I think I love this one better than the other one. That's so funny. All right, I'm gonna get my adhesive started on my silicone mat. And I'm just gonna pop this right here. We're gonna grab our pastel pearls. And on my other one, I did do the pink, but let's see what it looks like with the gorgeous grape. Tying in that other gorgeous grape. I can't wait to show you my other cards too, because again, I used paper from the Hydrangea Designer Series papers. I used all the different patterns. They all look different, but it's a great design for any Designer Series paper. Okay, let's bring in the other one. So you see the difference? I love it. Tell me which one y'all think. You love number 1 or you love number 2? All right, let's look at some more patterns. How about this one? There's that one, again, with the Hydrangea papers. Let's see if we're still in the camera. Yes, we are. And this is the first one I made, and I loved it. And again, I did not want to hide those papers, so I put my sentiment off to the side. And I think on this one, I took one of those other sentiments. I added a strip of cardstock. I think it's 1 inch wide, and then 4 inches wide, or 1 inch tall, 4 inches wide. And I just popped that on there because it kind of got lost with the basic white on white. But I loved these cards, and I hope that you are inspired to take this layout, your Designer Series papers, the mini messages, and start making a ton of cards. They're quick and easy, and I just hope that y'all love them. Happy stamping, y'all!